righty. It seems to be taking. Here we go. What's going on? Welcome to another edition of Hustlers Kung Fu Live. What we're going to get into, what we're going to talk about is the Great Recession is upon us. And we're going to talk about the stimulus checks could potentially be late and a few other things. I want some people to know that it's a crazy thing. I mean, I don't have any words for what's about to happen. And I know that many people don't want to accept what's going to happen. I saw another post that this thing's going to be over in May, and it's just it's not. It's not going to be over in May. This is going to go on for a minute. This is going to be rough. This is going to be deep. All right, this live stream was brought to you by Hustlers Kung Fu Life Skills. And let me let you guys know that a new ideal is going to be dropping probably tomorrow, because I've been thinking of a way to bring you guys more training, and I think I've got it worked out. I'm going to work on it a little bit more tonight, but we're going to do this at Hustlers Kung Fu Life Skills, and it's going to involve me doing live webinars where if you have questions, you can ask. So I need to put that together, and if you're one of the people who bought B School for Hustlers, the total package, you spent $3,500, $5,000, you're getting this free, for 1 year, because it's going to be a subscription-based service, but you will get that free. So look for that. Look for the revamp, because we're going to work on that this weekend. And for those of you who are interested in the Making Money course, the setup and foundation, there's going to be another section there tomorrow, and there's going to be a live webinar Sunday. So just letting you know that's what's going down. All right. So let's get into this wonderful bean footage. And part of this is there's many people who come on YouTube and just talk about stuff, and they're not really as serious as they pretend to be. Let me show you guys something. I got this today. It's a 12 gauge shotgun. It's got a 10 round magazine. Picked this up today. Let you know how rough I think it's about to get. And while I was there, I also picked this up. This was more because I just wanted it, but the shotgun is for home defense. So let me give you guys a layout of what's going to happen. As we talked about this morning, that the gulf between rich and poor was about to get tremendously wide. Here's what's one of the things that's going to happen, because there are many people who they're putting out hope. They're thinking that we're going to peak here in April. Based upon the behavior that I'm seeing, we're not going to peak it's going to have to get worse. I'm about to say something that's maybe really controversial here. Essentially, people are going to have to die before a large segment of our society gets it. Just the facts. A large segment of, we have a lot of people who are just not believing that this thing is real. They're not acting upon it. And let me give you the numbers. One of the things that's going to happen is we're already at 10 million layoffs, 10 million people with no job. We're going to equal that number or double that number this month. So that's 30 million people out of a workforce of 160 million people. Hold on. Let me go ahead and do the math on that. All right, that's like 20%. 25% would be 40. So for us to get to 30%, we're going to have almost 50 million people with no jobs. I want you guys, if you can remember, to go back to 2008. And for many of you, it wasn't that bad. For some people, it was absolute nightmare. And it was 12 years ago, and a lot of people don't remember it. But this is going to be worse. It's going to be much, much worse. And I'm going to give you the reasons behind this. First of all, remember that stat that I put out there that most Americans couldn't come up with $400 or $1,000 for emergency? There were many people who were already economically fragile. This thing is just going to push them over the edge. And once we get into month 2 or 3 where people are not paying rent, they're not paying their car payments, they're not paying their credit cards, then the banks are going to get hit with massive defaults. Massive defaults. And this is going to depress the bank stock price. And this is going to limit the amount of money that banks can lend. The Fed's going to try to loan them money, put money, keep money in the system. It's just not going to be enough because we have never experienced this much joblessness this quick. It has never happened before. Never. And with that many people unemployed, with that many people who don't have a paycheck, with that many people not spending in our consumer-driven economy, it's going to be a massive blow. What you're going to see, and also let's talk about a recession versus a depression. A recession is just a few months. It's maybe almost a year or less of economic downturn. A depression is many years of economic downturn. I think we're going to have a depression because once we get past this pandemic, and we will, it's going to take a while to crank up the economy. Because I want you to think, these people being let go. I was watching the video where someone thinks that Airbnb is going to be a massive opportunity once this is over. I don't know. I'm going to say that. I'm just a little skeptical of that. Just a little skeptical. Let's see what's going on here in this chats. What's up, people? I'm reading it. Don't believe in those stimulus checks. Nope, Rod, for real estate, it ain't going to be over. 2 to 3 years. This is what I predict is what's going to go. 2020 is pretty much done. All right, Dante J. You were right about the classification 3. Capital One put me on the special assistant free suppression. They won't charge me late fees for 3 months. Hey, I'm telling you. I just heard the stimulus check could take up 5 months for the underbank. Pretty much. That's why I meant the stimulus check's going to be late for some people. All right, Camilla. I'm glad you listened too. Rod, for real estate, I sent out a coupon to everyone who got the B school, who paid in full. So check your spam folder. Jeremy Binion, thanks for the $5 super chat. Yes, it is getting rough. It is getting rough. I had the people in the gun store cracking up. No, what I really believe is we're going to descend into a very bad situation. This neighborhood is a wealthy neighborhood. We have a lot of break-ins, people rolling around on the streets and stuff. And this is where people are going to come who are going to be desperate. And my house isn't, quote, the best tactical house because, like, on this side, there's all this glass. But I'd rather be ready than not and not use it than to need it. Because I've been thinking about the shotgun for home defense for a minute, and you're going to see some strange stuff. Because I was getting a gun today, and there was a guy who worked at Emory, and he said that a nurse he works with, who's a Green Beret, who's been to all of these wars, he is now in ICU fighting for his life because he has the bug. And he says he's been through all of these wars and stuff and survived. Now he's fighting for his life because of this. I mean, and I was talking to an EMT because there was a lot of folks. A lot of folks were gunning up because I'm gonna put some pictures up in the community section. Um, it was just crazy. It was crazy what was going on, and you know what we're going to go through is unprecedented. It's never happened before, and it's gonna be like, just to be blunt, if you ain't ready for it, you don't have time to get ready for this. Just to be blunt. Stan the man. Hey, we can get guns all day down here. Jaleesa, well, you're gonna get a tutorial. They're gonna try to step in. Mr. Big. Well, the government. I mean, we're gonna see that again. Stephen, 20% unemployment in a month because we're already at 10%. We're already right now. We're at 10%. Polly Robbins, I watched the news and one of the officials, Hartsfield Jackson, said it could take 3 to 5 years for the airports to get to pre-bug business numbers. This is because, see, the thing is, what's happening is everything is shutting down so fast, and it's catching people off guard because there were people who were they were fine 2 weeks ago. Now they're in a situation where they can't pay their rent. And one of the things that is happening is a reset in values. It's going to be a massive reset in many, many different things. Leo die. I mean, everybody's in the same boat. Tim May, everyone will have to pool their money together to keep a roof over their heads, pretty much. Yeah, I saw that, Sky Blevin. King John, what do you predict the trucking industry would do? Curious of your thoughts. Trucking industry is going to keep going on, but what's going to happen is if you are a trucker, it's going to be hard for you to do your job because many of these states, because, I talked about this and Erica posted on her Facebook page that her truckers were having a problem finding rest stops. Like I said, they were shutting them down. I said it in a live stream, and a lot of people are like, oh, they're still open. What you're going to see this month is a lot more stuff shut down. And if you are a trucker, because you're an essential, I mean, we need you guys to get stuff to where it needs to be. It's going to go on, but as a trucker, your life is about to get harder in terms of finding somewhere to stay, using the bathroom, getting gas. It's going to get harder, and many of you are going to be exposed to a lot of stuff. So it's going to go on. It's just going to be, and trucking's already hard without this, and it's going to push a lot of people out of the industry. Short change, that 10K emergency fund ain't going to be enough. On Savage Finance, I talk about this. You need two emergency funds. You need a short term emergency fund, and you need another emergency fund, which is half of your annual salary. So if you make 20,000, you need 10. If you make 50, you need 25. Because, what this thing is going to do is reset expectations, because I hate to say it, but it's going to take someone getting sick and almost dying, or having someone close to them getting sick and dying, for many people to get this. It's like this expression we have in Alabama: people don't believe fat meat is greasy until the juice is dripping down their fingers. And this is where we are. I mean, I hate to put it out there like that, but just the behavior, because one was going to get the gun, the golf course was packed. Golf course was packed. And these people just don't get it until they start getting sick and they're in the ICU bed on the ventilator. That's when they're going to get it, not a minute before. All right, Jeremy Hamilton, make it work. This dude begs, wow, someone attacked the nurse? That's crazy. Mr. Big, I predict there will be another stimulus check. I predict that. CZ, I bought a brand new truck in 2008 for such a good deal. I was able to sell it in 2014 almost for what I paid for. That's coming back. Q497, if this thing gets as bad as I think it's going to get, no president in history has ever been reelected when the economy was bad. It's never happened. But once again, his people, who will be greatly impacted by this because of the poor leadership and the lack of preparation, they'll still vote for him even though they hurt. Stan the man, go to the recession businesses to start recession proof businesses playlist. I got a few things there. Mr. Big, yep. That's going to be, because here's the thing. We're going to go through these stages. First of all, we're in the disbelief stage. There's a moment of like, yeah, it ain't that bad. We'll bounce back real quick. That's the disbelief stage. And then once people start to feel pain, that's when it's going to get real for a lot of people. When they're in a situation where they have no money. You're going to have people who are going to absolutely have no money, who are going to be absolutely broke. And it's going to be a horrible, horrible situation. We're going to have people who are going to feel pain. We're going to have people who are going to displace and move from normal people to poor to poverty. And once we get past this, and we will, the recovery is going to be slow because there's not going to be as many players in the market. Credit is still going to be funky. It's still going to be hard to get credit. The recovery is going to be very, very slow. The housing market is it's not going to be like last time, because essentially what's going to happen is when all these people get laid off and they have no money to pay their bills, this is going to suck so much money out of the economy. It's going to, I mean, it's like someone was taking a hot bath and then someone turned the water off. They turned the electricity off. They turned off the gas, and it's going to be really challenging for these companies to reopen, for things to get crunked back up, because many companies are going to go out of business. The companies that were struggling, they're gone. They're going to be gone. And the jobs with these companies, they're going to be gone. And one of the hardest things for people to wrap their heads around is the typical American lifestyle for many people is now over. And that's going to be hard. It's going to be really hard for people to accept that. Because going back to Dr. Tim Troyer, luxuries once tasted become necessities. And you're going to have so many people who are going to be in a state of disbelief. They're going to not be able to deal with certain things. They're going to be in such a state of panic, disbelief, because like I said, I've been preaching this for 2 years because I knew this was coming. I did not know this bug thing was coming, but I knew the recession was coming. And one of the things that I wanted you guys to do was to prepare for this, because I knew that this one was going to be rough. I just had a feeling, and it's going to turn into a depression, because I feel we're going to be in this about 2 to 3 years. And it's going to be hard to get credit. It's going to be hard to do many things. And we're going to have a whole class of people shift from middle class to poor. And with each one of these shifts, this is going to suck even more money out of the economy, because people are just not going to be able to spend. It's going to be really, really bad. And I know that many people are like, it's going to be a V-shaped recovery. No, it's not. Because when you dive into the economics and you dive into the math, it's scary. I mean, it is really scary. Mr. Big, that happened in 2008. Yeah. Because what's going to happen is all of these people are not going to be able to pay their bills. And this is why I think there's going to be a second stimulus package. And they're just going to sell the future for the now and here and now. And, people getting these checks, because everyone that's doing the videos about stimulus checks and these emergency funds and stuff, they're getting massive views, because this is what people care about. They care about money. They care about getting this free government money. And one of the things that I'm not going to do, I'm not going to keep talking about the stimulus checks and the stimulus packages, because I want to educate you guys on how to get through this thing. Because when I was in that boarding house, I was homeless. I didn't have no money. It was my personal crisis. I know what that feels like, to be so broke. You don't even have money to buy bubble gum. I know what that feels like. And we're going to talk about many of the things, because I'm getting ready to do a lot of training. And like the people who bought the B School for Hustlers package, you're going to get all this stuff free. Be sure to check your emails, because every time I do something, I'm going to send you guys a coupon so you can go ahead and get it. Because I'm about solutions. I've been talking about this for 2 years. I've been pushing, I've been talking smack, And I've had many people, because we get into these Bitcoin conversations with people, and here is the solid truth. At the end of the day, if you don't have any cash, you're in trouble. And this is one of the things that I'm going to work on, because it's going to be kind of hard to navigate this pandemic, because with these shelter at home orders, these not going out places, you're going to have so many tricky situations. Like everybody that's a YouTuber or make their money from Instagram or has an online course or has an online platform, we're going to be good. Even if our incomes go down, they ain't going to go down that much. I mean, my income has gone up and we're going to be fine, but everybody cannot transition from their regular everyday life to an online business model, because creating an online business model, it takes months to a few years. And there are many people who are going to be, I'm going to open up a lot of resale courses, because once this pandemic thing simmer down a little bit, resale is one of the quickest ways for you to make some gang of money. And I did a video about that in the recession playlist, and I'm going to make a lot of resources available for people, because one of the things I'm not going to do, and this is so interesting, because I had someone, because a lot of people have been hitting me up. I get like 10, 20 emails a day, like, hey, Glendon, I'm doing this. Would you mentor me? Would you? And I have not answered any of those emails, because I'm not getting on one-on-one mentorship. That is just not scalable for me with all I got going on. So I'm going to do a lot of group training, and it'll be live where you can ask questions, because the people who take action now are the people who are going to survive this thing and come out better on the other side. This is like, if you are a person that you just got laid off, you have no money, and you're absolutely broke, God bless you. I can't help you. If you just recently found this channel, I understand. But if you've been here for 2 years, you have no excuse. Either you thought I was lying when I was making all that recession talk content, or you just didn't think that my predictive analysis skills were that good. Because a lot of people are going to be telling me, because a lot of people are like, well, I don't think unemployment is going to get to 30, 40%. They're just saying this because that's how they feel. They're not looking at the economic data. Because when you crunch the oil fight between Saudi Arabia and Russia, because none of these countries care about the rest of the world. America, Britain, we're countries that care about the rest of the world. Russia could give a damn about us. Saudi Arabia can give a damn about us. China is lying about their. If you go ahead and dive into some research and start looking at Chinese newspapers, they put that the deaths have been 3,000. The deaths are more like 60,000. That's how much China's lying about this. And China's lying about this because they fell asleep at the wheel, and they didn't contain this thing. And if they had done things earlier, this wouldn't be this bad, and everybody around the world wouldn't be getting it. And China's trying to save face. But one of the things that I want you guys to understand is, because I get your emails, I appreciate them, but if you are like broke Dick Danny, penniless Priscilla, I can't help you. And one of the reasons I can't help you, because I gave my courses out for free for 6 months. Worst thing I ever did. 95% of the people got the courses for free, didn't even open them up. So we're not going to do that again. I've got data on that. I've got substantial data on that. So, but we're going to be doing a lot of training. Well, there will be work. Thomas Dixon, starting to see more FN friends posting about close friends dying because of the Rona. That makes it real. It has to get to that level for most people to get it. All right, hold on. T.L. Myers, that's your internal optimist. I don't think. Tell me, what statistical data have you looked at to come up with that opinion? Because you're just saying that because that's how you feel. What data have you looked at? When we're going to have literally 30 to 40 million people unemployed with no money coming in, that's pretty bad. And we already got 10 million and it's growing. Tell me, what data are you looking at to come up with that? I don't think it's going to be that bad. Pretty much, Andre Jackson. Active duty military, y'all guys are good. Roderick got beats. 2 kids were killed last night. 7 and 10 separate incidents in my area. People out here losing their minds already. Crimes going up already. That's why. That's why I got the Mossberg, and that's why I got the assault rifle. Junie, if you work on getting your financial house in order, you're going to be able to get real estate real cheap in the future. Hey, this is what I do, man. This is what I do. Black season and the National Guard has been called up in New York, so it's about to get bad. Yeah, because I'm pretty much thinking we're not going to have a football season this year. I don't think the NFL or college football is going to play. Chris Dunley, if you want to ask questions, the time to do it is now. All my business, nothing personal. Yeah, I'm starting to see that pop up on a lot of people's page. Pretty Steve, yep. It's impacting every industry, even that one. D. Roby, I think that's a good example. The economy is going to be just like Japan, a ghost. Mr. Big, we're looking at high poverty rate and prices being high. Wages never kept up with inflation. Just imagine high inflation. Enjoy those $8 loaves of bread and $12 gag of gallons of milk is going to suck. Dionysus, your money's going to be safe in the bank. We don't have a banking crisis. Banks will be impacted by this. All right, Kevin, stash that stimulus money. Mr. Free Gang, use your VA loan to house hack a triplex or fourplex. Only rent to military or law enforcement. Live in it for a year, then rinse and repeat. Pretty much, Agent J. Poole. Pretty much. All business, nothing personal. America, we once know is over. The rich will benefit. The poor will never recover. Watch and see. Pretty much. That's what I'm saying. Well, there's a difference, Mr. Big, between starting with nothing and being poor. And we're going to talk about that in a minute. Really, resale is going to boom. A Norvell Champion, eBay. All right, so let's talk about poor people. If you are broke Dick Danny, penniless Priscilla, you don't have any cash, more than likely you don't have any connections. You don't have friends with money. It's going to be very hard for someone who is absolutely poor to move to the next level. What's going to happen is many people are going to move down. The rich, people who are already rich, they're going to get richer because they're in position to get richer. The people who have cash, when these things really melt down and things go on clearance, you know, that house that was 350,000, you're going to be able to get it for 200. And one of the things with real estate, because there's going to be some people who are going to be fine through this. They're not going to lose their jobs. They're going to have income. They're going to be able to pay their rent. Those landlords are going to be blessed. But we have a lot of landlords who have over leveraged themselves, and they are panicking right now because they have 5, 6, 7 houses with loans, and they've got 7 tenants, and 5 of the tenants just told them they couldn't pay their rent. That's a panic moment. We're going to have so many things that are going to go down in this period, this new phase of America, because the fact that 8 women that I used to date reached out to me, 8 women. And the guy in line at the gun store was saying, yeah, man, my ex, she hit me up and she was so nice and friendly. People, because see, right now, everyone is still in, there's a large group of America that's still in la la land. And they don't think this thing is real. And once it starts to become real, that's when the panic, that's when the fear, that's when the desperation is going to kick in. That's going to be the moment. And you will see it on Facebook. You will see it on YouTube. You will see it on Instagram. You're going to start, like, remember the student loan problem and how all these students, people with student loans were making all these YouTube videos? You're going to see the same thing repeat itself when we get to that point. Because right now, it's just like, it's a discomfort. It's an inconvenience. It ain't really real for many people. But for those folks, I saw a dude in a hazmat suit at the gun store. It's people are starting to wake up because Georgia, we had a funeral that was in Albany, and someone came here who had the disease, and there are 24 people dead now from that one funeral. It is very contagious, and many people are kind of just putting their head down, and they're not really believing that how real this is. Really, the financial channel, most of the financial channels are going hard. Rideshare 101. Go to Savage Finance. I got a video on how to handle your credit that goes into all that, because yes, that's going to happen if you trip certain indicators in their predictive software. Darrell Jones, will the rich be over 100K? The rich will be, it's not going to be a statistical number. If you are a dude who's, let's say you work in a hospital, you got a car, you got your own place, you got money coming in, you got money saved, with so many people descending into poverty and being poor, you will become rich because you have things. You have food, you got gas, you're going to look like you're rich because because when people compare and contrast, and when so many people start to fall, and when these people fall, anyone who is able to be self-sufficient and maintain their lifestyle will automatically become rich in their eyes. I said this morning. When I was a kid, I used to think rich people had indoor plumbing because we didn't have it. So you're going to see a big shift in social norms because there was this video like this chick said 9 to 5 dudes didn't do it for her. That's going to change. JB, well, the finance channels I've been watching, they've been going hard. I know one dude, he's posting 2, 3 videos a day. New York's an epicenter. New Orleans is an epicenter. There are just bad things happening in these locations. Well, some banks will go down, not all of them. TH, you act like people not getting unemployment. So let me get this straight. You used to make $3,000 a month, and now you're going to get unemployment of $600 a week. Oh, huh. And you still got bills. The unemployment ain't forever. And I don't think they're going to have enough money for everybody that's unemployed. That's going to be a problem. And there was a big talk that the stimulus check was going to be late. Tammy Takes, thanks for the $5 super chat. It's sad this hardship to for someone to reconcile a relationship. Pretty much, Junie. Tell me, Florida's I think is going to be another epicenter. Eric Williams, I'm in several groups where Chase and American Express are shutting folks down. American Express and Chase both started this a few months ago. They started asking people for financial reviews a few months ago. They were on this already because they knew what was going to happen. Well, a lot of people who are not self-sufficient, a lot of people who hire photographers and all this other stuff, they're going to suffer. JB, well, that's what I'm saying. 9 to 5 dudes look like rappers. That's what I'm saying. If you are solid and economically stable, you're going to be like, you're going to appear to be rich. In this bad economy, $10,000 is going to be like 100,000. 100,000 is going to be like 1 million. You got 1 million in the bank, that's going to be like $10 million. Your money's going to go so much farther. Michael, what's a good course to start for reselling? Go to Hustlers Kung Fu, look for the Craigslist courses and other things. Because a matter of fact, because reselling, because your big issue right now is getting inventory. So this is going to have to calm down a little bit unless you just have some kind of hookup. In 30 days to 2,500, it will help you out a lot. Oh, a lot of people are going to get their credit card shut down or shut off. Uh, a certain limit of businesses. There's 40 million businesses in America, and they have enough money for 1 million businesses. They can only save so many. And if you're a business owner, you need to have your application filled out ASAP because that money's going to run out so quick. It's because it's only a set amount of money. God, there's no, like I'm telling you, this unemployment, man, it ain't going to replace your income. Airbnb just lowered the valuation by 16%. It's going to go lower. If you got get if that job's guaranteed, sure. JB Well, $5 super chat. A lot of millennials about to finally grow up. Pretty much. Pretty much. In groups, young guys were moving to Vietnam and complaining about money in October. That's wild. So I know there are a lot of folks moving back home when their credit cards shut off. Because see, I actually did a video on this on Savage Finance because the credit card companies, they've been through this before. They know what's going to happen. Pretty much, Kevin. They said 40% of Americans won't even have 2,000 by the end of the year. Thanks for the $5 super chat. Yeah, because it's already that. I'm not going into conspiracy stuff, Steven. Thomas Jixon, if you've not already applied for the 10K loan, you're already late in my book. Pretty much, because that money's going to go quick. Tanomi, I believe we're going to have nucleus families living in houses trying to make rent while getting back to the 70s and 80s. Oh, we're going to have 2 and 3 generations living under the same house. Like, I live in a big house, which is cozy and comfortable because I don't feel claustrophobic because I got to stay inside all the time. I got plenty of room to roam. I've had many people already try to move in with me. And I'm like, I need this house for my YouTube business. Come on, man. I've had people, I've been getting hit up. And we're only a few weeks in. I can only imagine what's going to happen at the end of April. All business, nothing personal. That's going to change a lot. I doubt Airbnb and WeWork will survive this. Airbnb, the corporation, will survive this. The owners of the homes, unless their house is owned free and clear and they can afford to sit on it a few months, a lot of these people who have leveraged all of this real estate for Airbnb, they're in trouble. And anyone that is over leveraged in this economy, because we're going to go through this massive deleveraging of people who are buying rental homes. Like I had all these folks come at me, and my first question was like, "Is this something you doing?" And the answer was, if they answered, there was always no. Well, CZ, that's rare. It's going to be good night, John Boy. Good night, Mary Ann. Pretty much. You're going to start to see, because this is going to alter behavior. You're going to start to see people shacking. And like I said, the divorce rate is not going to go up until this is over, because right now you've got all types of situations that are going on. but people are going to feel real pain. And, like I said, I feel that I've done my part to educate you guys, to let you know 2 years in advance what was coming. And hopefully you listened to me and you made your preparations, because if you have little to no debt and you are in a situation where you're going to have cash, the deals, like if you, let's say you're in resale, you're going to be able to get your inventory so cheap. You're going to have to get it cheap because the people who are buying from you are not going to pay a lot of money. They're not. So you're going to see massive price discounts on everything. Lots of dumb baby boomers too. Work with a 62-year-old guy who was still in high risk stocks. He's lost over 100K so far for his retirement. He is not listening to proper financial advice. At 62 years old, he should have been away from those high risk stocks and moved to a more conservative portfolio. This is because so many people thought the stock market was going to keep going up. And one of the big issues that is happening is people cannot let that recent memory of that roaring stock market go. And that's why they keep you're going to have people who are going to dump money into the stock market, and they're going to ride it all the way to the bottom. And a lot of people are going to lose money, because I've had some people come at me talking about, why Glendon keep talking about cash? And I had a hater on Facebook like, hey, don't buy stocks, buy my course. Ha, ha, ha. And I was like, you wish you had some courses to sell with your little weak booty. My friend said marriage licenses through the roof right before Austin, Texas courthouse shut down. The ladies know. They're trying to lock this stuff down because Erica, you're one of the few women I know who's going out and getting it. The average woman ain't trying to build a business. The average woman ain't trying to do that. And a lot of these women who are average are going to be surrounding themselves and attaching themselves and locking it down with men, even if they don't like these men, because these men got money. It is crazy. Dang, this dude, Steph, that's sad. Lynn, ain't that the truth? Because if you're 55 years old, you should be moving to a conservative portfolio at that standpoint. You should not be in high risk stocks at 62. Erica Williams, everybody gonna be looking for a job. Kevin, hard heads have to be spanked, because essentially this is where we are in America. There are many, many people who are in a bad situation, and they're going to have to suffer pain to get it. There's some people, some of the people I've been talking to who've been congratulating me and being, very thankful in the comments. I listened to you. I got a debt. I started stacking my money. I got me an emergency fund. I'm good. And there's a group of people who they're going to have to fall down and knock their head before they get it. And that's where we are. I figure the storage auction business is hit because they can't have these auctions unless it's an online auction. Like right now, I'm telling everybody, do not go, because the thing is, the stock market's going to crash again. You're going to be able to get cheap stocks in the future. You don't have to rush. You don't have to start throwing your money in the stock market. This is going to go on for a while. This ain't going to be over. If you look at the Great Depression, it took 36 months for the stock market to completely crash and lose 80% of its value. And we're on a similar trajectory, because right now it's emotion that's driving the market. And I think today was another down day. And apparently there was a rally. It rose 1.8%. Oh, let's look at this. He nailed the March sell off and says there's another 30% to go before the stock market hits bottom. All right. Hedge fund entrepreneur Dan Niles, in a note cited by Yahoo Finance this week, warned his clients way back in February that he was getting increasingly worried investors weren't ready for the impact the spread of the bug would have on the U.S. economy. So Niles positioned his portfolio accordingly. Good thing. While the Dow Jones average posted its worst first quarter ever, his Satori fund closed in positive territory. But more importantly, where do stocks go from here? Definitely not higher if Niles has it right. If you go back and look at history, there's 9 times the market sold off about 30% or so since the 1920s. It's pretty normal, he said this week. You get one of these every 10 years or so. If you look at every one of them, you always see these bear market rallies. It's very easy to figure out the market will probably go down another 30% before we even get near fair valuation. So this is what I'm saying. You don't have to run out and jump in the stock market right now. Once again, sit on your cash, protect your cash, cut your expenses, and wait a month or two and just continue to look, because you should be studying the stock market. You should be studying investing before you put your money into it, so you know what you're getting yourself into. Because like I said, my personal finance channel, I am dealing with the truth. Tell me, I don't want to go back in the healthcare business. I need flexibility. So know me, if healthcare is where you can make the most money, you need to go back in the healthcare business. CZ, why did he just realize he was putting his money in bonds? eBay will make a killing. Adaptation is the make money scores free for the people with the B School Financial Education Bundle. Yep. Check your spam folder. If you, this isn't for the people. Well, actually, I think it's for even for the people on the payment plan. If you bought the B School for Hustlers program, you're going to get these other courses free. And I sent out an email the other day, so check your spam folder for messages. Pretty much, Agent J Pool. Pretty much. All right, Tracy. So there's so many things that are going on, but tomorrow I'm going to work on this and I'm going to start the training, because right now this is what saved me. When I was in that boarding house and I didn't have no money, I was broke. I wrecked my car. I was just, there were so many bad things that happened, just like bam, bam, bam. What saved me was self education. That's what got me out of that. And this is what I'm going to preach, that you need to be self educating yourself. Every day, you should wake up, whether you have a job or not. If you're one of the lucky people who can get this unemployment and you can somehow manage your bills, every day you should be in online education. You should spend the money and get you an Audible subscription and start listening to books, reading books, because one of the things that's going to happen is if you sit around and do nothing, it's going to make it worse. You got to have a plan of action. You got to be really working on getting new skill sets. You got Skillshare, you got Hustlers Kung Fu Life Skills. You have all these platforms that can teach you new skills, because many of you who are losing jobs, they're not coming back. The jobs are gone. Tracy, well, I will look into that tomorrow. I will send out some more stuff. Jaw, It really depends upon your company and how your company's positioned, because there are companies in so-called good fields that have bad cash flow management practices that are going to go under. See, this thing is going to expose everyone that's over leveraged. The first thing you're going to see is a lot of these companies go out of business. Yeah, so tomorrow I will be sending out emails and stuff, because if you are in B School for Hustlers, I sent out a message the other day to the How to Make Money from Scratch course. So I sent that out the other day. And tomorrow I will be, because tomorrow is live streaming festival. I'm going to stream some older videos. So I'll be working on that and working on content and working. I'm going to be doing a lot tomorrow. Again, the dollar is the strongest it's ever been right now. So yeah, it's going to be fun. All right. So for those of you who want to, because a lot of people ask for the Cash App is in the link below. And with that, I will see you guys later. Peace, love, and hair grease. And good night.